Live and learn, folks. Here I had holes in the floor where the linoleum had punched right through the darn Formica board thin junk and the shiplap boards. Excuse me, not shiplap, tongue and groove boards like this. It's got little thin ones over here that were apparently used when this was built over 60 years ago. So all this here is already replaced. Had to yank the old stuff out from underneath a rotten board at the bottom of the wall, and that also had termite damage. Put in new material, squeeze it all together, screw it down, and then the room's not square, so this board here had to be cut at an angle and try to get it rocked down into place, forced in there. It didn't work quite right, but it's in there, and the gap is all sealed in with some master seal NP1. You can see I used two different colors because I wanted to use up the old stuff even though it don't match. This is going to get the what's that, 11/32 I believe plywood over it, or thicker, I forget what thick, roughly half inch or no, roughly 5/8 plywood over it, the whole floor. But I was going to do that before removing the sheetrock to put in insulation, but because of this damage here, which I'm about to clean this off, treat it, I'm doing this video even though I didn't manage to do any of the previous room that was done in this house. It's already all finished and everything from this room moved into it. Notice how there's little plywood shims underneath the studs. This is why. Over 60 years ago, this newest edition of the house was built with actual rough cut 2x4, 2 inches thick, 4 inches wide, and then your brand new so-called 2x4 is 1.5 inches thick by 3.5 inches wide. So when I cut it perfect to fit in there, knocked it in place, there's a 1/2 inch gap. So I had some leftover plywood from a previous task, knocked it underneath there with a hammer, and then toenail all my screws into place down through it so they are nice and tight and snug, and then added one additional support board here because this was a little soft at the bottom, and with the windows being here, this is definitely a wall support. It for years had no support because it was sitting on top of a board that was half eaten by termites, just like the ends of the floorboards and material underneath. Before I put these floorboards on, I took one of these 2x4 studs this direction up against the stud underneath and screwed it on to make darn sure it had good support. And once the old board was out, then I ran screws there directly underneath this through the floor down into the 2x4, just like these screws are here to keep them flat. Hopefully this little tidbit helps somebody. Thanks for your time. Be a blessing to others, and thanks for being a blessing to this channel.